Hercules in New York is a 1969 low-budget fantasy adventure film. It is notable for being the first feature film to star Arnold Schwarzenegger, who was about 22 years old when the film was produced. However, it is one of the films that Schwarzenegger admits regretting having appeared in. Hercules Against the Moon Men is an Italian, French sword and sandal film. It was directed by Giacomo Gentilemo and starred Alan Steele and Jenny Clare. The film runs for 90 minutes and is dubbed. The film blends elements from a number of mythologies. The Longships is a 1964 British-Yugoslavian adventure film shot in Technirama directed by Jack Cardiff and stars Richard Widmark, Sidney Poitier, and Russ Tamblyn. The Three Stooges Meet Hercules is the third feature film to star the Three Stooges after their 1959 resurgence in popularity. By this time, the trio consisted of Moe Howard, Larry Fine, and Joe DeRita. The 300 Spartans is a 1962 CinemaScope film depicting the Battle of Thermopylae. Made with the cooperation of the Greek government, it was shot in the village of Barakara in the Peloponnese. It starred Richard Egan as the Spartan king Leonidas, Ralph Richardson as Themistocles of Athens and David Farrar as Persian king Xerxes, with Diane Baker as Elis and Barry Coes-Philon providing the requisite romantic element in the film. Atlantis, The Lost Continent is a 1961 science fiction film, directed by George Pal and starring Anthony Hall, also called Sal Ponti, about the destruction of Atlantis during the time of ancient Greece. Ramo a Ramo is a 1961 film directed by Sergio Corbucci and starring Steve Reeves, Gordon Scott, and Vern Alisi. Tagline: The legendary conflict of mankind's mightiest mortals. Hercules returns to Italy only to find that his lover, Princess Deianira, has lost her senses and that the only way to restore them is with the Stone of Forgetfulness, hidden deep in the realm of Hades. Spartacus is a 1960 American epic historical drama film directed by Stanley Kubrick. The screenplay by Dalton Trumbo was based on the novel Spartacus by Howard Fast. It was inspired by the life story of the leader of a slave revolt in antiquity, Spartacus, and the events of the Third Servile War. La Vendetta di Ercole, better known as Goliath and the Dragon, is a 1960 Italian, French international co-production widescreen peplum film starring weightlifter and gymnast Mark Forrest in his debut film role and Broderick Crawford as the villain. La Battaglia di Maratona is a 1959 Italian, French international co-production sword and sandal film, loosely based on the Battle of Marathon. It was directed by Jacques Tourneur and Mario Bava. It starred Steve Reeves as Philippides. Ben-Hur is a 15-minute-long 1907 silent film, the first film version of Lew Wallace's novel Ben-Hur, A Tale of the Christ, one of the best-selling books at that time. Hercules Unchained is a 1959 Italian-French epic fantasy feature film starring Steve Reeves and Silvio Cosina in a story about two warring brothers and Hercules' tribulations in the court of Queen Omphale. The Vikings is a 1958 adventure film directed by Richard Fleischer and filmed in Technicolor. It was produced by and stars Kirk Douglas. It is based on the novel The Viking by Edison Marshall, which in turn is based on material from the sagas of Ragnar Lodbrok and his sons. Hercules is a 1997 American animated musical fantasy film produced by Walt Disney Feature Animation and released by Walt Disney Pictures. The 35th animated feature in the Walt Disney Animated Classics series, the film was directed by Ron Clements and John Musker. Ulysses is a 1967 British-American drama film loosely based on James Joyce's novel Ulysses. It concerns the meeting of two Irishmen, Leopold Bloom and Stephen Dedalus, in the Dublin of 1904. Starring Milo O'Shea as Leopold Bloom, Barbara Jefford as Molly Bloom, Maurice Rowe one-half as Stephen Dedalus. T. Samson and Delilah is a 1949 American romantic religious epic film produced and directed by Cecil B. DeMille and released by Paramount Pictures. It depicts the biblical story of Samson, a strong man whose secret lies in his uncut hair, and his love for Delilah, the woman who seduces him, discovers his secret and then betrays him to the Philistines.
We'll be right back.